Hey, what's going on, guys? Brandon here with Texas Plinking Gear, making a review with a little bit of a different format for no other reason than I just feel like being a lazy bum today. So I want to make this review from the comfort of my living room couch. Hope that's okay with you guys, but it looks like the lighting's okay, so I'm going to go ahead and do it. Making a review on a gun that I've had for just under 2 years, and one that I like so much that I got a second one. I'm not gonna lie, a third one on the way. I'll try to justify that a little bit, but more of the story is I really like this gun. So this was the first PSA AKV I bought. Now I mentioned the name, you could probably read the video title anyway. But yeah, Palmetto State Armory is a brand that, I don't know, it's kind of got selective thought process. Some people just hear PSA and they go, oh, cheap, economic, no good quality. But to be honest, from my experience with them anyway, from their ARs, they seem to be plenty fine. But certainly their AK models don't seem to have any of that publicity or stigma to them. I think everyone pretty much likes an AK from PSA. Like I said, I don't have a problem with anything PSA. I think they're really, really good value, but also good quality. Without going around too much into PSA in particular, let's talk about this right here. Not just any AK, but their AKV. This is a 9mm AK, which right away would sound like a good time on paper, which it should, but not until you shoot it do you realize just how cohesive and awesome of a package a 9mm AK is. I just looked at the viewfinder and I totally forgot to mention, non-shooting related, I broke my finger, so we'll just move past that, pay it no mind, but understand my manipulation on guns might be a little weird just because of that ordeal. This one is the black Magpul furniture version. There's many of them with the triangle brace, and all I've done to it is put on a Nikon P Tactical Spur red dot, something like that. A nice low profile, and works really, really well. Haven't shot this one yet. I recently bought this one. This one is another Magpul one with a green triangle and green mag. And this one's got a Holosun HS503 on top with the lower profile, of course, because being an AK, you want that nice and low. And that's it. Also, actually, this one's got the ALG trigger, which are not that expensive. I believe they're 50 something or maybe possibly 60 something dollars on PSA's website as well. And haven't shot with it yet. Having fun though, just dry firing. Feels pretty darn good, I have to say. So let me get some shooting impressions here. I would show the reset, but it's a little tricky here. Nice and short though, for sure. Like I said, there's multiple different iterations out there and colors. Some of them come with a brace, some of them do not. They'll just have the pick rail here, so you could do whatever stock later you want to do if you're going to SBR it or put a brace on there. This one right here came with the triangle brace. There's also some, initially when this AKV came out, actually, it was a AR-15 buffer tube with AR type stocks. Some people might like that. Personally, I think if it doesn't need a buffer tube, it shouldn't have one, and it should have a side folder. That's just my immature thinking of the cool factor. So I didn't really like that initially, but I would have bought one anyway, just because I thought they were cool. They ultimately came out with the side folder and they were in stock for that brief moment, and I bought one. On the receiver here, it says Palmetto State Armory with the logo, and it's got a serial number on the bolt. Whereas the newer ones, some people might like this actually. I think it's kind of cool, looks clean. Not that I mind PSA, like I mentioned. No logo here and no serial number. Actually, my mistake. The serial number is pushed back, hidden by the dust cover. Oh, okay, I kind of found that out real time. Should have seen that, but yeah, on the old one, serial number's forward, and on the new ones, behind the dust cover. Now I know. This takes non-proprietary mags, which is awesome for PSA to do that. It takes CZ Scorpion mags, and I think that's compatible with CZs. Scorpions should work on here. Now, Palmetto State Armory makes their own mags. This is a 35 rounder and good on them for not charging an arm or a leg for them. I think they're about $16, $17 per mag. Good construction, 35 rounds, very, very nice. And if you have a CZ Scorpion, you can go ahead and pop that out and run it on that one. This is made from PGS USA, came for the Scorpion. Somewhat of a tighter fit, but you know, nothing a good slap won't fix, and now it's on there. And this is cool because it is in fact translucent. So just to be sure here, we're not chambered, but we're gonna put a hot mag in there with some decent weight on it. And there it is. So pretty cool look actually, I have to say, with a translucent mag. I have to hide behind the gun because I think it's trying to autofocus on my eye. But anyway, very, very cool look on it. And this one right here is a 32 rounder. The CZ branded ones work as well. So long story short, CZ Scorpion mags, through and through will work on the AKV. Interestingly as well, if you're used to shooting AK platforms, you just kind of go until you hear a click, do a reload, rack the bolt. Well, if you're familiar with AR-15s, it's kind of cool to have a hybrid action in this sense. Not a total hybrid action, it's an AK, but it does have last round bolt hold open, which is pretty darn cool. And you can see with no mag in there, I can still get it to do that because this little lever, you could push up on it, pull it back, and then you get that to slide or to lock open as it would with an empty mag. If you want that to go forward, then go ahead where you pushed up on it, push down, and then very, very easy. You don't need to press too hard on that thing unless, of course, you had an empty mag. But that's just with any gun. But we're going to go ahead and put an empty in here. You can see shooting, lock back. Let's say you drop the mag and new round. So pretty darn cool. The muzzle device for 9mm, possibly unnecessary. Try to get a close up there. But does look pretty darn cool. So that's 2 ports on either side and then on the top to reduce a little bit of muzzle flip. But again, it's a 9mm, so not so needed. Like with other AKs, these are not torqued on there. They have this little pin here. You go ahead and press that, and then you start backing that out. Very, very nice. No need to do that right now, but you do have your threads there, which are 1/2x28. Unsuppressed from the factory. If you guys don't have a suppressor, you're gonna love it. Don't get me wrong. But something about when you suppress it, my gosh, it comes into its own. And then when you're suppressed, running supersonic is great, but then do subsonic, the thing is like a staple gun. It cycles everything. I've never had a single jam with this thing, which is really cool. And admittedly, never cleaned it either. So that's pretty cool. Mostly suppressed shooting at this point. If it matters to you guys, I'm running a Rugged Obsidian 45, so it's not even optimized for 9mm, yet it's still pretty darn quiet, not getting gassed out. Very, very cool. It's like music. Like I said, my favorite form to shoot that thing in, but if you ran supersonics unsuppressed, still a freaking good time. In fact, only fairly recently, you may know him as PewView on Instagram. He was in Texas. We did a little bit of shooting for my YouTube video, and he accidentally bump fired 2 rounds, which made him think he might want to try doing that on purpose, which he did. I've never tried to do that myself, and then I had, for our first attempt, had a pretty good time, and since then, whenever I take this out, I do a little bit of bump firing from the shoulder as well. This thing is just naturally poppy enough to move it, but yet still very, very controllable, and the cyclic rate on it for bump firing is pretty gnarly. Right when I found out that it could do that, I'm like, holy crap, I need to get a second one. So I don't know, my justification is pretty crappy. I do like the way this one looks all blacked out, I have to say. I mean, everything's opinionated. Check out the website if you want to. They have wood furniture, they have plum, they have black, FDE, green, everything like that. A couple other things here. The iron sights it comes with are not too bad, pretty darn standard. I like that the actual receiver here is actually hinged and has the pick rail on the top, so you don't have to get some kind of side mount for optics or anything like that. But like I said, it's hinged. Takedowns, super easy, and then you just slap that down. For the most part, I think I covered what I wanted to, just without a script. Going back to front here, talking a little bit about the shooting, but just so I make sure I don't miss anything for any prospective buyers who like to get nitty-gritty with all the details. I actually have got on my phone here, straight from Palmetto State Armory's website. Some of those things include that it has got a forged front trunnion, forged bolt carrier, stamped 1mm steel receiver. Barrel is 10.5 inches long, and it's got a 1 in 10 twist. And I think for the most part, that is all I wanted to mention. Enhanced safety lever. I think what they mean by that is just kind of like this little flange they put on here, so with your index finger you can manipulate it. Thought that was pretty cool. With the triangle brace extended, 27 inches long, and with folded, it is 19 inches long. In case you guys need a little bit of dimensions there, but again, brace folded, it's quite the compact package. Try to get that in there and nice and focused for you as well. Very cool looking gun. I kind of like this personally. I like the wood one. I mean, they don't make a bad one, but something about this with the Magpul furniture, with the pick rail, with an optic on there, a little bit more brought to modern era. I remember I wanted one, but they were always out of stock. That's something to mention. I'll get on that. But I remember I was lucky enough that right when they introduced some more models with the triangle side folder with the pick rail right behind, I jumped on that right away. And thankfully I was part of a newsletter that alerted me of that before it hit the website. And so I was on it right away. And I think for that gun, I paid a hair under $1,000, which is pretty darn good value, just considering the metal construction, the forged pieces that need to be forged, pretty darn good value. By just under $1,000, I would say probably $990, something like that is what I paid for this gun. This is the same gun except just with a little bit of green accenting. And now almost 2 years later, I ended up paying about $1,050. So a slight premium. I don't know if that's just to do with the times of whatever. But about $1,060, actually, my mistake, $1,059.99 for this configuration. There are some that are less because they don't have anything back here. If you already have a stocker brace that you would like to put on your SBR or pistol, then that cost is mitigated. Or it could be more if you have that plus pick rail, cheese grater up here with the ALG trigger from the factory. They can possibly get up to just right around or just under $1,200. So all of them are incredibly affordable. If I was handed this and I shot it, blind taste test, I would have said it's probably around a $1,700 gun, possibly even $2,000. But no, I mean, you could get in it for right around $1,000. And at that point, why not get two? Very, very good looking gun. Everyone who's ever shot it is blown away with it. I think I've made a lot of people buy this gun just based off of inviting them to the range and them shooting it. So pretty darn neat. If you are a gun collector or just recreational shooter, I think this one would be a pretty darn good one to add to it. Yeah, never gonna be a bad time shooting a PSA AKV. Kind of giving it a once over here, just making sure I didn't forget anything. That's probably all I wanted to cover. If I think of anything else, I'll probably just throw it in a random edit, but that should do it for this video. Thank you guys so much for watching. See you guys on the next one. Take care.